Can everybody hear the microphones going? It looks like the beeps are moving up and down. Da-doom, da-doom, da-doom. All right. If you can hear me, let me know. Don't tell me there's a can effect. It's a can. If it's a can effect, tell me and we'll change it. How about that? Is that better? Can we go to that one? Let me know. All right. Welcome to the World Show. It is Friday, August 16th, a little bit after 10 a.m. Los Angeles time. Yeah, from a bunker. Yeah, from a deep, dark bunker 200 feet below occupied California. That's if it sounds like I'm in a tin can, well, look around me. That's why I'm a little bit of a tin can. So just so you know, the black helicopters can't get me down here. All right, so I get the thumbs up from the massive amounts of staff in studio around me, all giving me the thumbs up that the audio is okay and we can continue, which just means my wife is over there in the corner going, come on, everything's fine, say something. All right, I'm moving along. Part of the show is going to have to be drag and drop because I didn't have time to place everything. Some of it I got right. But welcome back to the World Show. It's been a minute. It's been 2 weeks since we've been here. We skipped last week with the passing of Mrs. Forwatton. It set everybody back a little bit, so we took one day off, which was a Friday, so no World Show, no Garage Show, but we're getting back in the swing of things. Today, we're doing both, and yes, for those of you who have already emailed today, the podcast will drop soon. We got it recorded. I got it edited. I'll tell you what, I'll put up the audio and the video today for you guys. As soon as this show's over, that will be priority number one. All right, the other part I have to address with you guys is the massive amount of emails. But before we start picking things apart across the world, because as you know, the Gen X Talks live stream, the World Show is just me telling you what's going on in the United States, not through the filter of media. I just look out the front door and I use some common sense. I know I use the same reference all the time. I'm going to use it again. You had when the O.J. Simpson trial and it just overtook for a year, and he was found innocent, and the world was rejoicing, and everybody was happy, and on and on. And my generation, were like, yeah, he fucking killed his wife. We know he did. I mean, we just applied some common sense to the news story, and we got it. The jury said he was innocent, and lawyers said he was innocent, and judge said he was innocent, and the media was praising him being innocent. Well, all right, well, the rest of us were like, yeah, okay, dude, you killed your wife. And we knew he did. It was common sense. It wasn't. No, I know. There's always some bonehead in here who goes, no, it was his nephew and his brother and his dad. And that's why the DNA man. Yeah, okay. Conspiracy theorists. Yeah, sure. And the earth is flat also. Yeah, we all get it. But the truth is that he killed his wife. And we all knew he did. Okay? That's the way you have to look at things. I can't tell what's going on around the planet because the news media filters everything and spins it the way they want. I rely on you guys to look out your front door and tell me what's really going on. And it's been invaluable information because you guys are right. There's no spin on it. You guys look out the door and go, here's what it is. Thank you. That's all we're looking for. That's all you're looking for. So when I tell you what I'm seeing is just it's with as little bias as I can possibly apply to it, just tell you there's what I see and try to be as fair as possible. Now, with that comes some confusion on my end. Now, you guys are going to have to help me out. Now, this is where the comment section, you're going to have to help me. In my country, in government, in politics, there's left and right. There's left and right. You with me so far? Good. Glad you're coming along. Left, you know what it is. It's liberalism. It's socialism. It's this progressive left nut job, far-reaching, the stuff they come up with is just insane. The right is conservative. You know what it is. They're very conservative. They hold back a little bit. They're like, well, let's think about this. Let's save a little money. Let's conservative. Let's go slow. Let's see if it matches the Constitution. You pull back and you go in a certain direction. That's the basics of right wing. And there's right wing nut jobs that are way out there, and there's right wing idiots that go too far, of course. But you get the basic. Left is liberalism, socialism. Right is conservative. Now, is that the way it is everywhere? Because I'm seeing stories in France. I'm seeing stories in Great Britain, and they say, well, the left, this, and I go, well, that sounds like something I might be interested in. And the right is this, and I go, I don't know if I'd go along with that. Are the parties switched over there between you guys and us? I don't know. I'm starting to get confused on who's who. And, of course, everybody during an election year, everybody runs towards the middle and pretends, no, I'm both sides. I'm a little bit of both. I'm a little bit of left. I'm a little bit of right, and I'm the guy you want in charge, or the girl. But you guys got to tell me. My wife is watching the comment section here, so she'll tell me when things come up. You just got to let me know. Let's define it as as socialism, liberalism, and conservative. That way we get rid of the right left in case the words right left are switched. I'm asking. Okay, let's be clear on that because things have changed. Yeah.
Did you inform Facebook there's no mod over there?
Facebook, if you're watching over there, apparently we do not have a moderator right now. Sammy Joe, who, as you guys know, is your favorite moderator over there. Apparently, she's working today. People have real lives, not just hanging out with us at Gen X Talks, drinking whiskey and smoking weed all day. No. They have jobs to do. And I think Disney Kid, who's Chris Yerger over there, is the newest member of the Gen X Talk staff. He's been trying to fill in on over there on Facebook, but he's working too. Yeah.
Stephen Ford on YouTube says, we're allies. Our politics is pretty much the same-ish, he said.
Okay. So where's that?
He just said we're allies. I'm not sure where he's from.
So he could be from Alabama for all I know.
Oh, true.
Great.
That's who's the European Center is United States left, according to Dave.
Okay, so see, I'm learning. I'm trying to figure this out from you guys. I don't want to listen to the BBC. I just want you guys to talk about it. That's it. I'd rather get my information from you guys, but I thought I'd start with the left and right versus, liberalism and conservative. I think that's the easiest way. So a lot of you have tried to understand. You guys have asked a lot of questions and trying to figure out how socialism, liberalism became, how we got so twisted in the Democratic Party. Because it didn't used to be that way. Democrats were always Democrats. Republicans were always Republicans. However, there's a fundamental shift. A lot of people just go, wow, they're extreme. Yeah, but they didn't. It used to be the Democratic Party in my country used to be something simple. Stand up for the little guy. Stand up for the little guy. You stand up for the little guy. You help the minority. You help the underprivileged or the weak or whatever you want to call it. And that's basically how they still get their votes today, even though they've moved completely away from that. They still just go, well, remember who we are. We're for the little guy. We're for the little guy. We're for you. If you feel that you're downtrodden, if you feel you're picked on, if you feel you're a minority, we're the party for you. Yeah, they used to be. But it was a real weird switch. Now I've explained this before. But if you follow along with this, it's not a long walk. It's not a long walk. So I'm going to use some very odd terminology, but I'm just trying to make the point of the story so it doesn't take 2 hours. Let's just get it done in a few minutes. So let's just use handicapped people. Handicapped people are in the minority in most places in the world. That just means there's less of them. Okay, minority just means there's less. Majority means there's more. Go along with that. So they say there's a handicapped person, and the handicapped person says, hey, I can't get into facilities because there's not a ramp or there's not access to these for a wheelchair. So the Democrat Party comes along and says, hey, we don't really mean to force Americans to do stuff, but we think it's important. Here's a little guy right here. Here's a minority of handicapped people. And we hate to say this, but everyone's going to put in ramps and handicapped bathrooms. You're just going to fucking do it. It's the right thing to do for this minority. Okay. And I think all of Americans, left and right, I think all of Americans, liberal and conservative, finally go, well, it's going to be an expense on our business, but it is the right thing to do. Now, what did you just do? You just forced the majority to bend the knee, spend some money for a minority. Are you interrupting a story for a reason? What?
Well, Stuart Bailey's checking in from the UK.
Thanks, Stuart. So you just forced a majority to do something for a minority group. And I think we would all agree that's good. That's a good thing. That was a good cause. Okay, I'm not going to get into the 500 things that happened in between, but as soon as you do that, for a good reason and a good cause and a good thing, now other minorities go, well, wait, what about us? And the Democrats ran it, well, yes, you're a minority too, and we should give you what you want. It got twisted over the last 50 years It went from this is a good minority cause. We're doing it for a good reason. There is a good thing happening here. We are going to force the majority to do this for handicapped people with access and bathrooms and ramps. It's a good thing. It's a good cause. And we're doing it for a good reason. 50 years later, we're just doing things for minorities because they're minorities. Transgendered bathroom is not a necessity. Okay? It's not. It's just something the minorities stood and said, hey, this is what we want. As a majority, we should have said, we're not doing that. Pick which bathroom you're going to use and behave yourself. That's it. But now we went from doing having the majority bend the knee for a minority group like the handicap ramps and bathrooms. Now we just do stuff because they're minorities. Whatever minority group comes along and says, well, we want to dress up as drag queens and dance in front of 8-year-olds. The Democratic Party goes, well, goddamn right. We're for the minority. That's right. We're going to be behind you. Whatever you fucking want to do, we're standing up for you and everybody better. And the whole party goes, yeah, we're good people. We stand up for minorities. No, you're not. You're not thinking about, is it good, is it bad? Doesn't matter, it's a minority. It doesn't matter, it's a minority. No, I'm not listening, it's a minority. We're good people. We do the right thing. We stand up for the little guy. But that's not how that's supposed to work. Now, that's the short version. And I know those are odd examples, but the spirit of that whole story is exactly accurate. Living here for these 50 years, I've been around the planet. I've been around the sun on this planet 56 times. I've watched a few things. You can read all the books and stories you want. You can have the focus groups and charts and graphs and think tanks and all that. I don't care. I grew up here in Los Angeles, of all places. I'll tell you how we got there. That's the short version. You took something good and you're like, well, we can make the majority do something for the minority. Well, let's do it with everything. Just so you guys know, because I get a lot of questions some of them are paragraphs that are very intelligent emails, and some of them are like, what the fuck happened over there? Signed, Bob. So, excuse me for a second. Let me hydrate. Got to keep my throat open or we close up and we can't talk. All right. So that's the premise. I need you to understand we're not going to call it left and right. We'll call it liberalism and conservatism. That way it fits no matter what part of the world we're talking about. And how liberalism went from something for the little guy that used to be good and now they've just run it over a cliff and it doesn't make sense anymore. But everyone's still caught up in the euphoria of, well, we're for the little guy. I vote Democrat for the little guy. Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing for the little guy? I'm for the little guy. Well, I think we ought to take it case by case, don't you? If you were in charge, wouldn't you do it that way? All right. So I didn't get a picture of Dan Bongino. Go ahead. If you got something to say, I'm ready to switch gears.
Stuart Bailey wrote, we have Labour government in the UK, but they were always a socialist party. However, Starmer had been slightly right of center. His excuse is it was the only way he could beat the Conservatives. That's what he wrote. Okay,
so some guy who was liberal became slightly right of center so he could beat the Conservatives. That happens everywhere. That'll happen in our election right now with Trump and Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris will move as far to the center as she can to try to drag in the vote. And everybody's saying, oh, see, she's not extreme. She'd never just go for this minority bullshit of minorities first, minorities everything, minorities are always right. No, look, she's campaigning in the center. I think we're going to be okay. And then as soon as she's done, she does what Biden did. She does what Obama did. She goes right back to full tilt left, full tilt, sorry, we weren't going to use left and right, full tilt liberal as far as you can. Because once you win the election, who cares? They don't care anymore. They don't give a shit what they say or do. They're in charge now. Fuck you. We're doing what we want. Which brings me to sunny point number 2. Let's see. Should we talk about Dan Bongino? No. How about a shark attack? No.
Robert Stamer has a question. Who took their place for representing the little guy? Since you said...
Well, nobody took their... Who said that? Stamer?
Robert Stamer.
Robert Stamer. Nobody's really taken the place of the little guy. See, the idea on the conservative side is you address things individually. If someone comes up and said, hey, we're the minority, we realize we don't have enough people to vote you out of office, to vote you into office, we'd like some help here. You know, you go to your local congressman, your local senator, and you say, can I get some help building some handicap ramps? They take it up the chain of command and get things done. There's been a lot of good things done doing that. It's when local governments pay attention from, it doesn't matter if you're city and county and state, and then you go to representatives for Congress and the Senate, you bring it up to make it a federal issue. That's the way it goes. The conservative side has always looked at those things and tried to be fair about it. Now, have they always got it right? No. But mostly, yeah, in my experience, absolutely. Absolutely. The left has just got to a point, the liberals have just got to a point where every minority issue is bigger and more important than the majority. And it's easy to do that because they say, oh, you're against that? Are you racist? Are you phobic? Are you against the little guy? Are you against the minority? Well, no, I'm not trying to say that. I'm just trying to apply some common sense. I don't really think, drag queens in front of 8-year-olds is a good idea. Say, well, you were all for it when it was a handicapped guy looking for a ramp in a bathroom. Well, yeah, but that's a different situation. Why? No, it's all the minorities, and there's something wrong with you if you don't fucking listen. We're putting you in jail, which you guys over there in England are fucking doing, which is the weirdest shit I've ever seen. You guys actually now, I did a little homework on this because I didn't believe it was true. Now, we're fucked up over here in politics. I'll admit you that. How in the hell over there in England, in Britain, did you guys get to a point where if someone expresses an opinion on Facebook or Twitter, X, whatever, that you now can go to jail? You certainly get ticketed, get fined, your name goes on the list, you're the bad guy now. I mean, to me, now I'm just a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert. What do I know? Nothing. But just being a keen observer of human nature and history, isn't that what Russia does? Is when you stand up and you say some shit, they lock you away in Siberia. Didn't the Nazis in Germany do that? When you're like, hey, you started printing some stuff going anti-Nazi stuff, they're like, oh, you can't do that. That's against the government. They lock you up. What the fuck, man? Didn't you guys fight a World War II, World War I and II, but II? Didn't you fight against that type of shit? Didn't you stop Hitler because that's the shit that he was spreading? I have no fucking clue. Is there no one who remembers that shit? How did it get that? Now, I'm not saying how to get that far, and I'm blaming you personally. But I'm letting you know that they try that kind of shit here all the time. They move laws in that direction where you can, well, we don't want you. Our biggest thing over here is we don't want you to spread misinformation. If you're out there dealing in misinformation, you're trying to undermine freedom, democracy, the American way, and we'll stop you. Oh, yeah? Well, you forgot one point. Who's defining what's misinformation? Who decides what's the truth and what's the lie? Because whoever's defining it, then everybody opposite of that person's opinion, they're in trouble, no matter which way you go. I don't know that we'd stand for that here. We got a bunch of local boys who'd be like, yeah, you crossed the line, fuck off. I'm just letting you know that'd be a line I don't think we could cross here. I don't think in my country we would sit still for locking people up for posting an opinion on Facebook, because I'd be in jail first. I wouldn't even be here. Right now, there'd be a blank screen, and there'd be a picture of my mugshot with a number here, and I'd be standing there going, well, I'm gone. But if that's true, if the stuff I'm reading isn't propaganda, if the stuff I'm reading is true, you guys are getting fucking locked up for having an opinion. You posting it. Can you say it in a bar? If you go on Facebook and say, fuck the government, they can come lock you up. What if you're in a bar talking to your buddies and you say, fuck the government, but one of those Facebook police are in the bar? Can they lock you up for saying it out loud? Because in my country, they do shit like that. Like, well, we know what you said, and you're in trouble, not jail like you guys. But then they take it a step further. Well, we know what you were thinking. You gave a speech. Hey, in my speech, I didn't say anything bad. Well, you didn't really say anything bad in your speech, but we know what you were thinking, and you're a fucked up individual, and we got to stop you. In my country, they do shit like that all the time. If you give a lecture or something, they'll pull you down from the lecture. They don't put you in jail or give you a fine, but they'll pull your lecture. They'll pull your stuff off the internet. They'll pull you off the stage and go, sorry, go on your way. They don't arrest you, but they tell you go. And you're like, what? I didn't say anything. Well, we heard what you said, but we also know what you were really thinking. We know what you're about. Just get the fuck out of here. If they could do that to you guys on that level, well, you didn't write it on Facebook. You didn't say it in the bar, but we know what you're thinking. Man, you're fucking gone. It's not that big of a stretch. It's not that big of a stretch. We've had a lot of pushback in our country with that kind of stuff, and I'll give you an example. The kid, I don't know if you guys saw the gender video that the kid caught me yelling at my daughter. It was an hour yelling session, 2 days in a row, actually. And her and her friends were over trying to explain to me the multiple genders and how things work, and the genders are fluid, and there's no such thing as gender, and gender can be what you want, and everybody needs to listen. And all right, we argued that all day. The next day she comes in and she's arguing with me and says, well, I'm getting paid less at work because I'm a woman. She had the gender pay gap. And I said, well, there is no gender. How's that possible? How are you getting paid less for a gender gap when you said there's no gender? You just lectured me all day. And I was just catching her in her own hypocrisy on stuff, and he caught part of that and put it up. And the part he put up on for you guys on those ambush videos was just me talking to her. It's like, well, wait, first you said this and then you said this. You're kind of a hypocrite. I didn't say whether I believed in genders one way or the other. I didn't say an opinion on it at all. But platforms pulled it down. And that would have been it. A year and a half ago, you can't say anything on social media. You can't use certain words or you're out. Now, there's been such pushback in my country that he appealed it. The kid appealed it. He wrote him the things as well. You know, my dad didn't really say anything one way or the other. And it got reinstated everywhere, including TikTok. Including TikTok. And TikTok has banned and suspended and kicked Gen X talks in the balls more than any platform. And more than any of the other platforms combined. And they put it back up. So there is a swing in my country that is having some pushback on those type of conversations. The pendulum in my country is swinging back the other way. We've had enough of the Black Lives Matters movement. We think all lives matter. We've had enough of the Me Too movement because not everyone should be believed. No, they should be listened to. In our country, the pendulum is swinging back the other way. We've had enough. We've had enough. And you're going to keep censoring and stuff? Fine, then we're fucking ditching you and going someplace else. Whoa, it's all about money. Let's bring them back. Let's loosen our standards. Well, guys, we're caught up in the moment. Everybody's loosening up. The pendulum's swinging back the other way. I'm thankful for that. I'm grateful for that. There's still a long way to go. Don't get me wrong. But then I see stuff going on over there in Europe with those open borders and the stuff you guys got going on and the arresting you for posting your opinion. Nothing screams, like a communist regime or socialist or fascism more than that. Yeah, Gen X Mom.
We have Josh Maddox over on Facebook Blue now moderating.
Thank God Josh jumped over there. Good job, Josh.
Jennifer Phillips says when the parties were founded, they were reversed, and Democrats were more conservative and Republicans were more liberal, is what she said, when they were first founded.
That's true. They have changed over the years, but they're still the party.
Yes, and John Morgan says it's become tranny of the minority.
Tranny of the minority?
That's what he wrote.
I don't know what that means, John.
And
I love you, but I don't know what that means.
Heavy hard drive, $5. Watch out, General. I heard the UK is trying to extradite people for shit posting, mean tweets, and funny memes. Possible jail time, too, is what he wrote.
Extradite? Did he use the word extradite? Like they're going to come here and go, hey, General, we've listened to all your shit talk about the UK and London and England and all your memes you posted. We're going to extradite you over here and put you in jail. If that was even a possibility, I'd kindly refer you to a little battle in 1776 and 1812. And if you think that fighting spirit is gone, I will point you to this guy right here. And I will kindly remind you, mind your own fucking business. That's all. Just talking out loud there. Yeah.
Star Roberts in Canada says Canada has a similar law restricting free speech. They are calling most things hate speech and threaten to fine people for using certain words in conversation. It sucks and needs to end for sure.
That's what I don't get is free speech is hate speech. It's included. It's part of it. You know, it's like if someone comes up and says, hey, General, you're fat. Wow, that hurts my feelings. I am fat. Yes, but that guy shouldn't have said that to you. He has no right to be mean. It's unnecessary. It's body shaming, and it's hateful. So fucking what? See, I was growing up in a different generation than a lot of you. I grew up in a generation of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And yes, words do hurt. And I'm not talking about bullying, but words do hurt. But you know what? Ain't going to fucking ruin my day. I'm not going to end up in the hospital on a respirator because of what you said. Sticks and stones can break my bones. Words cannot break my bones. I'm not going to end up in an emergency room. Now, every time I say that, I say, well, you know, words can't hurt. Yes, they can. And people, yes, they can. There's always an extreme example where you're like, bullying. And words, bullying till some kid kills himself or till some kid grabs a gun and shoots his classmates. And they always hold that up and go, look right here. Words caused death. Words caused this. Words brought us to this point. You're right. Now, that's the minority. That's the small thing. It's like, what is that, 0.01% of words causing that? Yes, well, we think we should just tackle, let's get rid of all the hate speech. Let's get rid of all the bad words, and then we won't have to worry about this. Yeah, but you fucked up 95% of free speech to cover this one thing. And liberals do that shit. They think they're heroes with those dumb arguments. Abortion should be made legal and available because of the one chance where a woman gets raped and she doesn't want to have the baby. How often is that being used for abortions? 99.99% are not that, but well, that doesn't matter. We have one example. We're going to hang our hat on and our argument on this one example, and you're going to keep abortion legal for that. We have one example of bullying, so we're going to get rid of all hate speech, and we're going to monitor it. You can't do that. You can't rule that way. Yeah, Gen X Mom.
Chet over on Facebook. Political intimidation is common in the U.S. Politicians will approach people who disagree with them and threaten them with attaching their business, their work license, and even have them audited by the IRS.
They do. There's a lot of power. They don't have in the United States. They do have a lot of intimidation in that respect. Who said that? Because he's right. Who said that?
Chet over on Facebook.
Chet on Facebook. He's 100% right. But I think Chet would agree that's mostly kept in the dark. They have to, no, we weren't singling you out with the IRS. This has nothing to do with the political aspects of what your contributions and who you serve. No. This is just normal procedure. They have to do it under the cover of darkness, where other countries like Canada and like Britain are just coming out and going, yeah, we're fucking doing this because it's a law now and you can't behave that way. You can't say shit. There is a difference there, and I do agree with Chet completely. But right now, it's not open. Right now, they can't say that. They can't just openly do that. They'd open themselves up for a lot of civil prosecution. So there's still a fine line there. I'll tell you, everybody asks me, what's holding the country together at the moment? Is it just conservatives keeping their composure, keeping their fingers off the trigger, stuff like that? No. Right now, it's the Supreme Court. The problem is in my country is that in the last 10 years, in my country, people have become more brazen in politics. And I'll tell you what that means. Congress can say, we're giving you a subpoena, give us all the paperwork. And the FBI goes, maybe we will, maybe we won't. 50 years ago, when Congress said give them the paperwork, those fuckers did it. You have to comply. Those are the rules. Who's going to get us in trouble if we don't? Who's going to get the FBI in my country in trouble if Congress says give us those files, we want the information, give it to us now, and they go, no. Think about what I'm saying. What if they say no, you can't have it? It's classified. It is national security. We're not giving it to you. What do? Now, there's mechanisms in place. They can call the police. There is a state police type of thing in the Congress and the Senate. There is a force. They can go in with warrants, kick down the door, break down. They could do that, but who's going to? And what if that agency goes, no, we're not helping you. The FBI told you, no, we're not doing it. It's happening. They're becoming brazen about, no, we're not doing it. It hasn't happened with the Supreme Court yet. So far, in my recollection that I can recall, everything the Supreme Court says, now you can't do that, then everybody complies. Yes, you should be able to do that. Everybody complies. At this moment, the one thing holding us together is the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is being followed voluntarily. But all it's going to take is for one agency, one person to go, no, I'm not doing it that way. Supreme Court's got it wrong. And if enough agencies and enough people follow that person or that group, we're in trouble, because what's the point? If you're not going to follow along with what the Supreme Court says, they absolutely decide what the law, they interpret the law and say, this is what it says, and you're going to do it this way. That's how close we are to having a problem here. But so far, everybody's going along. All right, I had more stuff to say. Do you have anything else to add before I get going here?
Nothing pertaining to what you're talking about.
All right. So you guys, let me get over to the drag and drop section. Let's change the screen a little bit here. I wanted to tell you guys sent tons of emails, so many that I can't answer them. So let me try to answer it this way. You guys, everyone is confused on how Kamala Harris is all of a sudden in the spotlight, in the limelight, and doing so well. So let me explain it. Biden got forced out. She became the front runner. She's in. Everybody in liberal land, in socialism land, the reason Biden's out is they were so worried he was going to lose. 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 Everybody was all upset. They finally did, the first time ever, they're like, get the fuck out. Anybody but you, Biden. Anybody but you. So they finally got Biden out. Harris comes in, and the first thing that hits is a wave of relief in the Democratic Party. Wave of relief. Everybody's like, okay, all right, he's at, now we got a chance. There's a party. There's just this wave of excitement that now they have a chance to beat Trump. Everybody's excited. Everybody's pushing. All the hoorah. Everybody's excited. That is a wave of emotion. That is a wave of like, okay, breath of fresh air. Now we have a chance. That's very understandable. It's a huge relief. But all of a sudden, very quickly, people in the liberal camp said, well, we're going to have to be careful here. She has said some very controversial things. We got some issues to overcome. Let's just ride the wave. Let's just keep the party going. So for the last 2 or 3 weeks, they've kept her basically quiet. Don't say anything. Let's just keep the party going. She's the one. She's the one. Well, what is she going to do? Who cares? She's the one. She's the one. The party's still going. There's no substance. But see, that's not holding in my country. Even the liberal media is beginning to say, well, let's hear some stuff. The first thing that people did was they went back. There's still a divide in the Democratic Party. There's still a big divide, especially like you take Palestinians and Israelis. There's still a big divide. There's many issues like that, but that's an easy one to talk about. And so they're like, what's your position? What's your position? What's your position? She didn't say anything. She gets out there with the typical, well, you know, what I've said is what I meant, and I only mean what I say. And I'm behind the people that support me for the things I've done, and I'm with you. What? The fuck you talking about? But that's how she speaks. So people dug up a lot of the things, and they're like, hey, the Palestinians, like, you know, you said you were with Palestine. You said defund the police. You said, and she quietly goes, yeah, I said all those things. So obviously I'm with you. all of you radicals, can we just, go back and play all the things I said? You know I'm with you. Keep voting for me. Well, a little bit more center liberals come up and say, hey, where are you at on your policies? You know, are you really that left, leaning? Are you really that liberal? Are you really that social? And what does she say? Well, I'm working on my policies, but don't worry. I'm with you guys. I'm working on my policy. We're going to devise something. We're going to write some stuff down, but don't worry. I'm with you. Now she's just pleased both halves of the Democratic Party, and she hadn't done anything. You with me so far? Keep quiet and just talk out of both sides of your mouth. Keep the party going. But that's still not holding. She still has to cross a couple lines. So what happens is every now and then she'll let a word or a phrase out about something. She's, I'm going to come up with my economic plan, she said a few days ago. And both halves of the Democratic Party says, well, what have you been doing for 4 years? Why all of a sudden now do you have this economic plan to fix things? Well, inflation's coming down. Well, yeah, it's coming down from the all-time high you put it at. So, yeah, it's coming down, but we shouldn't be up here. Well, it's coming down. I'm making a plan. Well, where's your plan been for 4 years? I have a plan for border security. You've been in office 4 years. What have you been doing? Just like when Hillary Clinton ran and she said, I have a bright future for America and I'm laying it all out. And Trump came along and said, you've been in politics 40 years. Just now you have a plan? Where's your plan been for 40 years? Or is this all bullshit? So she pulls back from saying stuff because she has to explain why she hasn't been doing stuff for 4 years, why it's different now. Talks a little bit. You saw what I said. I'm a radical leftist. I'm a radical liberal. Just take what I'm doing. I'm with you guys. Well, to the conservative side, the center side of the Democratic Party, well, I'm coming up with a plan you guys will be happy. Just stick with me. Got to play both sides. They should have put her in 30 days before the election. She could ride the party, the buzz, the vibe all the way through, but it's wearing off. It's becoming a little more distasteful to support her. But you can't just go along with, she's great, she's the one, I knew this was going to be the answer. Well, what are her policies? We'll hear about that when she gets in office. Well, what's she going to do? We'll hear about that when she takes the oath. We're good. Yeah, Gen X Mom.
Hogs wants to know, General, what is your opinion of the re-election of the squad member Omar?
Well, she wasn't reelected. She just won her primary, if I remember right. She hasn't had the election yet. So she still should have an opponent to go up against. But as far as I was following that for a bit, she did win. But I thought it was just the primary. So she still has to go with a contender from another political party, if I'm reading that correctly. But you got to remember, too, is that you're talking about like in Minnesota, in Michigan, there are huge pockets of people from Pakistan, India, Saudi Arabia, Muslims. There's a huge, taking over neighborhood after neighborhood and school after school. There's just by numbers, sheer numbers. And guess what? Those become a voting demographic for that area. So she can win a congressional seat in a congressional jurisdiction simply because it's saturated with people that she's familiar with. Yeah.
Zip tie securement.
Zip tie securement.
Says even the police department in California won't support Kamala.
Yeah, there's a lot that won't. There is the only people that support Kamala were the big cities: San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles, and Sacramento. That's it. The entire rest of the state's like, you fucked this up. And even those cities are backtracking now on those policies. They don't report it very much, but they're angry, they're upset, they're moving away from going, this is fucked up. If you just look into how many businesses have closed and moved out of San Francisco because of Newsom's and Kamala Harris's policies there, they've ruined it. They've destroyed it, a great city. Absolutely let it go to ruins, and then they say it's not their fault. Yeah, it is. Absolutely is. I'm here. I live in this area. I will tell you that it is. Absolutely 100% is. I don't mind telling you when people fuck up, they fucked up. So just so you know. So where was it? Let me get over here. I had more stuff in my book of lies. So the bottom line is, I'll just skip to the end there. She has to remain as hidden as possible. Don't go to a debate. Oh, a debate would just crucify her. Don't do it. Don't sit down for interviews. Don't answer questions. Just ride the wave. And that accomplishes two things in my country, so pay attention. If she just waves and says, I'm your girl, and the crowd just gets pumped up, it's like a parade. It's just a parade going by, and everybody loves a parade. Don't got to talk, don't got to do anything, just sing and dance and wave, and everybody loves a parade. So this is the Kamala Harris parade. And you know, in a parade, you can't run out there with a microphone and ask anybody any questions, sit in the back with their crown on their head in the back of a 63 Cadillac. No. You just got to watch the parade go by and get all pumped up. That does two things. One is that everybody in the Democratic Party, even though they don't know anything, they're not questioning, well, you fucked up the past. How are you going to do the future? Where do you stand on things? Nobody cares. They just watch it go by and stay in the vibe. That's one. The second thing it does, yes, Gen X Mom.
Deepak over in Ireland says, it amazes me that President Biden and Kamala are the best the Democrats have to offer. Who in their right mind would vote for these people?
Yeah, Deepak's got a good point. That's like, this is really the best you have to offer. But the media goes, yeah, this is a good choice and you should vote for him. So what I was saying, there's two things that happen here. If you keep her out of the limelight, keep her in the parade, two things happen. Everybody's pumped up. And the poll numbers will justify the outcome. Now, I know you guys don't believe this. I know you're not with me on this. I'm going to say it anyway. If there is a questionable election result and Harris wins, they look back at the polls. The polls for 3 months have shown neck and neck. Kamala Harris, neck and neck with Trump. Maybe winning in some neck and neck. Within the margin of error, Kamala's right there. It's no surprise she won. Why are you shocked? Why did you wake up the next morning? Why are you surprised she won? Didn't we tell you all along the polls were showing that she was right there? Well, maybe that's not too much of a lie. Would have been 3 months ago. But they're polling on the parade. No one walks up and says, would you vote for Kamala Harris on her wonderful policies? No. Polls would come way down. All of them. But if you're out there polling right now, do you look at her? Doesn't she look presidential? Look at her go by in that parade. I know she's not saying anything, but look at the way she stands and she smiles and she waves. Wouldn't you like to vote for her? And everyone, all the Democrats, yes. God damn it. Yes, I'd vote for her. You're voting for the parade, the polls. The results of all these polls are about the vibe, the party, the parade. Keep that party going. Keep that parade moving by state to state, city to city. No talking, no substance, no anything. Just thank God Biden's out. Now we have someone who can beat Trump. The vibe, the party, the parade, the polling, and she might win. We starting to get the picture I'm painting for you guys here? She could win. Because there's no substance. Now, she starts doing interviews. She does 2 debates. Pendulum swings the other way real fast. Real fast. But that's what they did with Biden. Remember, the pandemic just kept him away from Trump. Kept him locked down in a bunker. Just put out commercials. Just put out advertising. Painted the picture of what they wanted Biden to as they wanted him to be seen, and vote. Worked last time. She's already got the party and the buzz just in the excitement that Biden's out, and now we have a chance, and everybody's riding that wave. Keep it going. Make it a party, make it a parade. no questions, and then vote. And just so you know, I came up with the parade thing right now during the show. So you start hearing the word the Kamala Harris parade. Greg starts talking about it. Dan starts talking about it. You're welcome, America and Denmark. Yeah, Gen X mom.
Ace Rider 50 says, how do you feel about this idiot Kamala has for a running mate with his lies about his military rank and the stolen valor he's been accused of?
Yeah. What's his name? Tim Walz?
Walz.
Governor let his cities burn to the ground, saying, well, you upset them. You upset the minorities. They need to express themselves. I mean, what'd you expect them to do? I don't know. Grow the fuck up. And when citizens became aware of what's going on and citizens went out to do something about it and stop all this lawlessness, you know what he did? He called in the National Guard or state troopers, whichever it was, had them fire paintballs at American citizens, at United States citizens. He fired paintballs at them. Get back in your... There's video. These guys, get back in your fucking house. Pum, 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 pum. Shot one dude in the nuts. Go look it up. This guy from... just give you front door... Okay, just looking out my front door, just the way we all look at this. Now, liberals like, well, he's not, he made some mistakes. He lies about his military. Okay, everybody lies. Everybody, everybody lies. Everybody exaggerates. He went, we don't know what went on in his state. I mean, was he really, maybe there were some things going on we don't know about. But no matter what you think about this guy, universally, whether you're for him or against him, universally in my country, everybody goes, it's kind of a buffoon. He's just kind of he's that goofy, nerdy guy that you invite to the party because he's a friend of a friend, and he shows up there, and you're like, God, he's just so fucking annoying, and he's goofy looking, and his mannerisms, he's fucking the opposite of cool. He's the opposite of cool at the party. He's a bumbling, stumbling goofball that you're like, oh my God, I mean, he's okay, I guess, but Jesus Christ. And everybody feels that way. And says, well, but I'm going to vote for him. Or, he's a bumbling buffoon, and I'm not voting for him. Whether you're going to vote for him or not, whether you support him or not, it's funny that everybody has this underlying tone of, oh, my God, this fucking guy. He's just a buffoon. He steps on his dick, and then just like, I just had to explain myself, and it was when I was left and right, it was up when I said down, it was back when I tried to go forward, and, you guys don't know the story, you weren't there, and then runs out the door. You guys all know someone like Tim. You guys all do. Every one of you goes, oh, man, he's talking, honey's talking about Greg. Remember that guy Greg that showed up at our party, and he's fucking over there just pretending he was something he wasn't, and talking a story, and that dumbass laugh he had, and God, I couldn't wait for him. That guy. Everybody knows a guy like that. This is that guy. Just when you guys want to know what's at street level, this guy's just a dumb shit goof that you tolerate when people that you want to be around bring him. That's this guy. He brings nothing to the table. He's actually a far left liberal anchor. I wish they'd see that he's dragging America down. Nobody wants him to be in charge with the shit he did as governor. There you go. There's the best way to put it. Same with Gavin Newsom. Take the shit he did as governor and ask yourself, would I want the country run that way? There. I've solved it for all of you. Everyone out there, let's use that. Give the list the top 25 things this fucking guy has done as governor, and then say, would you want that for the country? That should be the end of this whole fucking discussion. In fact, Vance, if you're listening in, or your boys are, you listen, they're writing it down as fast as they can. Let's make a list. JD Vance can go out there tomorrow and go, look, here's the 25 things Tim's done for his state. Do we want that for the country? Now, pick another governor of another state, and when they do really good, see if you're like, whoa, that's some cool shit. Yes, I'd want that. I would want that for the country. I would want what Florida's doing, or what Texas is doing, or what Arkansas is doing. I would love for that for the country. That should be the way you judge the people. All right, Gen X mom.
Justin Ride wants to know, he goes, I'm from Ontario, Canada. Do Americans really want a female president?
I don't think anybody cares. The people that care want a female president just so they can say they did it. That's all. They elected Obama. A lot of them did because he was black. It didn't matter that he was good or not. He was just black. Elect him because he's black. All right. They would elect a woman. Hey, we did it. We did it. We fucking we did it, man. We have a woman president. Well, is she the best for your country? Fucking cares, man. We did it. All right. We fucking did it. Yeah, Jenix Mom.
Infallible Proof wants to know, Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton would be a better ticket. Why do you think that didn't happen for a president? No offense against women.
No, I don't think, I think Hillary has a lot of baggage that she would have had to overcome. I don't think she could generate the buzz she did last time. Not even close. Especially since she, everybody runs around and saying Trump's an election denier. Trump's an election denier. He doesn't go along with the election results. He fought and fought. And we don't do that, even though there's hundreds and hundreds of excerpts of Hillary out there calling Trump an illegitimate president, that he didn't really win. She'd have some serious baggage with stuff like that. You can't call. It's the pot calling the kettle black for anybody that's old. And if you don't know what that phrase means, then you're too young to be part of this live stream. Leave. But the Michelle Obama is just not popular. People just don't. They just generally don't like her. There's nothing to like about her. She just sticks her nose in as the first lady where it didn't belong. No, her policies. Are you even allowed to have a policy as a first lady? She wasn't. Obama was hugely popular with liberals. Michelle just wasn't. She just didn't resonate. Nobody cared. And I'll tell you when they even got more, the population of my country. This is going to sound dumb and petty. Dumb and petty. Call this the dumb and petty part of the program if you want to. I think when Michelle Obama was first lady for 8 years, she was on the cover of magazines like 96 times. Vogue and Vanity Fair and just high-end magazines. Was she really that pretty? Was she really that classy? Did she deserve that? I don't know, maybe. But then along comes Mrs. Trump, who's a world-class model, speaks 5 languages, carries herself with dignity and class and grace. Guess how many she was on? 0. So, a lot of people in my country, when that became an issue, when that became put out there quite often, like, hey, yeah, that's kind of bullshit. What are you doing here? You're not even giving her a fair shot. A lot of people turned on Michelle and went, yeah, that's kind of bullshit. That's not fair. And not that she had anything to do with the latter, but the former she did. I'm just telling you, she wasn't that popular anyway. When that kind of information comes out, they're like, wow, that's not fair. That wasn't cool. You downplaying this. And that was another thing that just kind of said, like, all right, fuck it. I'm not interested in her. She's out. Now you know. All right.
Infallible Proof is new to the channel on YouTube.
Infallible Proof, yeah.
That's why he's asking lots of questions to get your opinion.
That's fine.
He has another one. Do you think there will be a civil war no matter who gets elected?
Yeah, no, there won't be a civil war no matter who gets elected. In fact, you guys, that's your favorite question for you guys to ask me is what will it take? What triggers a civil war in the United States? Because there's not a lot that would. You guys went through all these different scenarios and different things, and I'm like, no, probably not. And then I told you guys it came clean about 2 months ago, and I answered that after giving it a fair amount of reasonable thought. Again, looking out the front door, street view. If Trump, who was drawing in crowds of 60,000, were to lose to Biden, who couldn't fill a 600-person hall, Trump, huge wave, Biden, almost nothing. If the polling was clear, events were clear, the vibe of the nation was clear. If we all would have woke up the next morning after the election on Wednesday and Trump would have lost, there would have been 40 million people that called bullshit. That would have triggered anger and potentially caused huge civil unrest. Now, how far it would have gone, I don't know, but that, no doubt. In my mind, no doubt. Now, Biden's out. Harris is in. Harris is running the party, the vibe. The polls say she's way up. Maybe they're lying about the polls. Maybe they're accurate about the polls because it's all about the vibe. It can't be about policy. She hasn't said anything. It's all about the party feel, that parade going by. It's great. Vote for her. Vote for her. Polls are way up. Now, if Harris wins, they say, whoa, whoa, whoa. You knew the vibe of the country the night before. Does this seem like a giant leap? Do you think anybody stole the election? No. The polls were up. The party was going. The parade was going by. The vibe. We all voted. We pulled the lever. She won. That's it. Might not be a big civil unrest in that one just because they're presenting it as a very close race, and the vibe for her side of the fence is pretty intense still. I'm just saying that I'm going to pull back from that Trump losing being an automatic trigger point because things are different now. Yeah, Jen.
Dropham says the only thing that would be that the government tries to take our guns, but doubt it would ever get nearly that far.
Yeah, I don't think the governments, they try that all the time. I just don't see them taking the guns. If they did come up with something, and of course how my country does stuff is they do stuff a little bit at a time. They never come in and say, we're taking all your guns, give them up. Fuck no, that would never happen. Civil war tomorrow, you done screwed the pooch. But they would say, well, let's just take away magazines that are 20 rounds. Let's say take away magazines that are 5 rounds. Single shot only. Okay, now any weapon that can shoot more than 100 yards, we got to get rid of that. Okay, 50 yards. All right, let's get rid of rifles. Handguns. Now they move the goalposts a little bit at a time until they get where they want to go. They don't just come in and take all the guns. That's how my country fucks you, is one slow stroke at a time. Yeah, Gen X Mom.
Cliff over on Facebook, Tulsi G would be the first woman president in his opinion, I guess.
Tulsi Gabbard? Yeah, she's outspoken in so many ways that there's people that oppose. Remember, in my country, you can be a great person. You can have a great mantra, but if you don't have money and the right people behind you, your voice never gets heard. Not enough. Yeah.
Real quick, Insurmountable Cali Cat gifted 5 memberships this morning to Dave, Joe, Whoa, North Sac Native, and Peter. They all got memberships today. Also on Facebook, Chaz, I believe. I'm from Minnesota, and you are on point with Walz. That guy has ruined our state.
There's a guy who's been living under his governorship and just told you guys what it's like. He's on the ground right there. What's his name? Chaz. Chaz is looking out the front door of his state and just staring around going, yeah, he fucked everything up here. You can listen to the media if you want to. You can listen to the spin if you want to. You can also listen to a guy who's living there just going, he's looking at his front door with a cup of coffee or a beer in his hand going, I'm watching it get fucked up. So now you guys know what I know, which ain't much. All right, look, I got to get out of here. I got a busy day. I'm going to do the podcast for you guys next. Anything you guys are interested in, go to genxtalks.com. Everything's there. It's just got a bunch of pictures. You click them and go. If you want to go to the podcast, go there. You want to go to the Discord server for chat rooms where we all hang out between shows, go there. It's a simple place, genxtalks.com. Just go there, check it out, scroll through. It's free. See what you want, but you get up to speed on everything. You're going to learn about the KGXT radio. Yeah. Gen X Talks Radio plays 24/7, just your guys' songs, all free. It's a lot of fun, but you got to go check out the different things that are going on. I don't even have time to get into them all. But remember, the barbecue is 2 weeks away. If you want a ticket, you can go and show up. Go get a ticket, swing by, be part of the barbecue. It's the last one at this address before we move out of state. All right, that's all I got to say. I got to get out of here. That was it. Is there anything else between the sheets you want to talk about?
Let me see real quick. Facebook has one more. Michael. She has been VP for 3.5 years and helped create the problem she claims she will fix. It is simple to see the irony of her statement.
Yep. And that's one of the things that's poking a hole in the boat that she's floating in, is that she can't come out with these United States of America policies that will save the United States when you're saving them from the things you created. Even people on her side of the aisle, even liberals are going, wait, what? A lot of them. But remember, don't talk. Keep the party going. Don't say anything. Keep the party going. Just keep quiet until the election, and you might win on popularity, because if you open your fucking mouth, there's too many landmines. And a lot of them you created. It's a tough mess. Listen, I got to go. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for bringing the World Show back. It's Friday. We'll do another one next Friday. Tonight we have the Garage Show, which I think we're going to be actually back in the garage. My wife has given me the thumbs up, so we got tools and whiteboards and things to talk about. The podcast will be dropped soon. I'll get done with that right away. I very promise, as one of my daughters used to say when she was 4. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Not sure where you're listening in from around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or sometimes on the Armed Service Radio Network. Don't worry, we'll be back. Remember, wherever you go, there you are. And my wife is cutting me off now. And I'm a very obedient husband, so I'm going to go. We'll catch you guys around.